Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this behind-the-scenes look at the 102 Squadron Podcast. I'm Flight Corporal Jack Anderson, here with Flight Corporal Nadim Elgazar.
Hello, everyone.
And Flight Corporal Aiden Paul.
How's it going?
And in this brief video, we're going to be showing you all of the work that goes into the Squadron Podcast, because a lot of people think that we just sort of come together, talk about random stuff for about 20 minutes, and then we post it online. But that is not at all what happens. We do a lot of work to prepare for this and to make sure that our episodes are perfect.
Yeah, for sure. There's all the script writing, there's the initial recording, and sometimes there's a lot of editing that goes into this. It could be about 2 or 3 hours worth of work each week goes into the podcast. So
more or less,
it's nothing easy. Yeah, more or less, but it's not an easy task to do. So we just want to show you guys what we're all about here.
Yeah, so we're here at the very first step. Now, as many of you may know, we do our recordings and our editing on Sunday, but we do our script writing the night before on Saturday. So that is where we are right now. We are on the meeting. It is about 7:30 and it's March the 6th and it's Saturday. So I have not actually told them the topic for this week yet. Typically, we come up with a topic maybe Friday night or Saturday afternoon. So I want to make that as realistic as possible. They've been dying to hear what our topic for this week is.
All week. This has never happened before. We've never had surprises. We've always had to discuss our topic, but Anderson is very excited to surprise us this week. And I can tell what Paul is feeling. I saw his look and I'm feeling the same thing.
Yeah, so without further ado, I'm going to share my screen here so you can see what we're working on as we're working on it. So now, unlike most TV shows or movies or anything like that, when we say script, we don't mean we have every single word that we're going to say written down. We just have a brief point so we remember what to talk about in what order. So I'm going to put number 1, and that's going to be what our first topic is about, or what we're talking about first when discussing this topic.
Let's see it.
All right. So the topic is the Concorde and other supersonic aircraft. We're going to be talking about why it failed and all that. So the first point here would be to introduce the Concorde and talk about it briefly.
So basically the silly looking plane.
Yeah, the one that can go supersonic, London to New York in only 3 hours. You really don't see them anymore nowadays, and we're going to be talking about all the things about why you don't see that. So down below, we do put little bullet points about interesting information. So we're going to be putting in here. Actually, Paul. Another point I want to put in here is when it took its final flight. So can you research that right now while I'm putting in some of the other bullet points?
I can tell you when it's made its first transatlantic crossing. It was Perfect. September 26, 1973.
First transatlantic crossing. Can you say that one more time?
Yes, it was on September 26, 1973.
September 26, 1973. All right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's a very important part of this team. We have lots of teamwork. We all bounce ideas off of each other. We're all researching different stuff while we're actually writing this script. So I'm going to put in here, could fly between London and New York in only 3 hours, which if you don't really know how fast that is, it takes an average plane nowadays between 7 and 8 hours to fly that route. So it more than cut it in half. Now, Paul, did you find the final flight for it?
Yes, the final flight was October 24th, 2003.
Final flight was October, did you say?
Yeah, October 24th, 2003.
October 24th.
Yeah, they were seized by Air France and Britain Airways in October 2003. Yeah, Air France in May.
Yeah, I'll put that in here.
and British Airways in October 2003.
Right.
Flown by Air France and British Airways. All right, so now we're going to move on to the second point here, which is why do you not see them nowadays?
For sure. Okay. Oh, I have a story about an accident here.
Yeah, that was the very famous one. So let's put in the elephant in the room, the big accident.
Yeah. It occurred on July 25th, the year 2000. A Concorde en route from Paris to New York City suffered engine failure shortly after takeoff, and when debris from a burst tire caused the fuel tank to rupture and burst into flames.
Okay. We're just gonna stop here for now. Because we don't really want to show you the entire script. You don't want to drag this out, but we did just want to give you a quick idea on what the script writing actually looks like. So we're all going to be back here tomorrow night at around 7 o'clock, and that's when we're going to be recording the podcast episode. So we'll see you then.
See you, everyone.
Yeah.
Hello, we are here on Sunday night. It is the night that we record the podcast on. So, as you know, as we said last night, we're going to be talking about the Concorde in this episode and why it was a commercial failure as well as an aircraft failure. So typically to record this, we meet over Zoom and we just use the record feature to record all of the podcasts. And then we just send it away to another place to edit it. Also, a little known fact is that CV Van Namen is in here with us on every single call. I know it sounds like it's just us three, but we always have CV Van Namen here to make sure we don't do anything inappropriate or say anything that wouldn't look too good on the squadron. He's also the one who provided us with this Zoom. He's pretty much the one who makes this happen. So a very special thanks to him. Without this, our podcast probably wouldn't go anywhere.
Oh, that's
Sure.
not completely true. I just make sure you guys have support when needed. Otherwise, you guys are the ones that run the show.
Well, you have access to like the posting stuff, so we send everything to him. He does all the technical work. We're just here every Sunday recording script 11 for
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, last week was our 10th script. That was our 10th episode. That was very exciting. It feels like a crazy ride. We started this well over 10 weeks ago, so we have not been recording every single week, but 10 episodes is a huge milestone for us, and we're all very excited. We have, I believe, is it around 300 listeners now?
Somewhere around there. I think it just continually increases every single week with the amount of podcast episodes that are released. So.
Yeah, and it's
sure.
amazing. We also have people on the other side of the world. We can track where people are from. They're listening to this. We have people from Australia listening to this podcast. So that is very cool that people on the other side of the earth like our podcast.
Just to be clear, we don't know who the people are. We just know what country of origin they're from.
And it could also just be a bot for all we know, but we don't know for sure.
They could be using a VPN.
Mhm.
Well, another thing is that when we're recording our episodes, I always have here on my phone a stopwatch. That's actually why some of our episodes are a lot longer. It's because I forgot my stopwatch on those nights. So in our first episode, we didn't want it to be 40 minutes long. We just rambled on for so long that when we looked at how long it was 40 minutes. It was crazy.
It was actually longer, but we took out a few discussions.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, the first episode was relatively rough. I think we retaped that like 3 or 4 times, somewhere around there.
Oh, yeah, we did a lot of stuff with that.
And it was a
Yeah.
lot of hours of editing that first one, but we've narrowed that
Okay, I'm
down
getting
a lot.
I'm getting flashbacks.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, you guys are still learning, right? So you guys are doing what you need to do. I mean, you went from not having any podcast experience at all to being able to do a podcast once a week. So I think you guys have to look at that as far as it goes. So, I mean,
for
first
sure.
few episodes, yeah, there's a little bit of hiccups, but you guys overpowered it. And now we record one take and we're usually pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's actually pretty rare now that we have to go back and edit something. There's only been a few recent examples of us having to edit something out. And speaking of editing, that is the clip that we're about to show you. We're about to show you how we edit it, what software we use, all of that. But for right now, we're going to go record the podcast. So we'll see you then in the editing.
See ya.
Goodbye for now.
Okay, we are here during the recording of the episode. And Alexar and Paul are just talking a little bit about the Concorde, about its major accident. And so this is actually very interesting. Hello. So we are here now at the final stage of the podcast, editing. And then after editing, distribution, but we really don't handle that ourselves.
Yep.
Um,
Sorry, a few minutes ago, which would technically be yesterday for us, we were working, and I wasn't kidding when I said around 2 hours to 3 hours of work. It is currently, we met at 7 o'clock. We're at 8:05 right now. So
yeah,
that's already over an hour.
It's a lot longer than the 20 minutes that we have recording. You might have also heard that I did a little recording on my phone during the actual podcast. I'm very sorry that near the end there, I sort of trailed off and said quite a bit. I was trying to hear what these guys were saying, so I wouldn't really get distracted while we were making the episode. I was just trying to give you guys a little bit of an example of what it looks like for us when we're actually recording the episode. So now let's take a look at how we edit this. So I'm going to press screen share here on Zoom.
Yeah, and I also like to apologize because I didn't know Anderson was recording. So I kind of got confused when I was talking about something and I expected him to say something and he didn't say anything. So I had to fill up 30 seconds. Me and Paul, we were just trying to have a discussion because I didn't even know what's happening with Anderson while that was happening. So
yeah, so moving on from that,
yeah.
we use a software called Audacity to edit all of our podcast episodes. So it starts by importing the audio, which, where is that? Should be under desktop. No, maybe not. Network, no.
Wouldn't that be
quick
in-
access.
Shouldn't it be
Documents. It's under documents,
Documents,
yeah,
yeah.
under Zoom. It is under, I believe,
We're the 7th
Look.
today. Yep, that's the last one. Wait, no,
That's the
that won't be
7th.
Flickr Elvizars.
it'd be this one here.
If that one.
And then
Mhm.
we put in the audio
That's the-
only.
Then
Okay.
we've got to convert it.
Right, sorry, I forgot to throw it in here to
There's a picture of me.
our we're going to throw it in here really quickly to something called Cloud Convert, which is another very handy tool that we have at our disposal here. So if I can just bring that over. There we go. Now, so what we have here is we select the file, we go into Documents, down to Zoom, and we find it should be this one here.
Wouldn't it be the one that we started at 7-Eleven, not at 8?
Well, I think that was when it was last recorded.
I see. Okay, yeah, maybe that one, I guess.
Okay, and audio only.
That one.
Then we put it in here and then we convert it to MP3. And this just takes about a minute or two to convert it.
Sometimes, if we're lucky, we get Jeopardy music from either Paul or Anderson. But
Yeah, we like to have fun with this. It's a very fun podcast. We're friends, you know, we're not just colleagues, we're friends. We like to mess around on here, have fun. But of course, when we are recording the episodes, it's all business. We're just talking. So it may come off like we're very serious and boring, but behind the scenes, we're really fun guys. Really, we love to have fun during this. Okay, so yeah, that's 23 minutes. We'll download that. That again takes just a couple seconds here. All right, so it is now finished downloading. We can go into Audacity. Now we should be able to import it.
that should be our newest one, I guess.
Should be under downloads because I just downloaded it. Yeah, here
Yeah,
it is. So
that looks
audio
like it.
only. I'll open that. Again, takes another quick second. So what we can do in here is we can select certain points, or if we want, we can type down, you might see some numbers in the bottom where my mouse is. We can type in the specific times where we had a mistake. And then at those times, we can just put from that time to the end of the time where the mistake was, and then we cut those out.
It can be a very tedious process. One time we were like half a second off and we were just struggling to get it right for something we had to edit out. I don't remember what exactly it was. And you have to be down to the millisecond for it to sound very clear. And you don't want it to sound like you kind of like had static or something.
Exactly. So most of our episodes, if you listen to them, most of our earlier ones, we did a lot of editing, and it is very hard to tell. Like, I've gone back and listened to them. You cannot tell that there was stuff cut out of there. And even if there was, it mostly sounds like static on one of our headsets. So our work definitely pays off when we're doing this. The long hours definitely makes for a better quality product.
For sure.
Yes.
And then, so what happens is after we've done all the editing, we actually don't need to do any editing tonight because we didn't make any mistakes, which has actually become a lot more common recently. As we've become better at this, we've really stopped making mistakes. So what happens after we do that is we close this. No, I don't want to save it because we didn't have to change anything. And what we're going to go into here is, that was for the behind the scenes video, but right. So what we do is we have all the dates here of all the different podcast episodes. So I'm going to create a new folder. It is March the 7th, March 7th.
And if I could explain just this process, why we're putting into a Google Drive, it's because we're not actually the ones that have access to the postings. It's actually CV Van Namen. And we use a program called Anchor that allows us to upload all our podcast episodes to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of these. And eventually when the program is actually can be officially deemed as a Canadian one, we could actually get sponsors. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and we can get monetization. So that would be an even better way to bring in some money for our organization. And it truly is a good organization. So there, it's now uploaded in here. We have it under a file called March the 7th so that he knows exactly where to find it. And then typically our episodes are now posted on Tuesday. So it takes a few days to post it. And then we just send him a message in Discord about what we want the title of the episode to be and then what the description of it should be. So he just types that in there.
Yeah, and we actually have an official timing now. So we have it at Tuesdays at 8 p.m. or 2000 hours for our cadet friends.
Yeah, and that wraps up this behind the scenes look at the Geeks podcast, or the 102 Squadron podcast. We really hope you found this video interesting, and we really hope that you like the podcast. Please keep listening to it.
For sure. We might have a few more of these behind the scenes in the future, so stay tuned.
Yeah. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Have a good one.